Welcome to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. I'm your host, Mari Riesberg. Over the past several years, I've combined my degrees in acting and somatic psychology to share my sustaining creativity techniques with performers. And now I've decided to share it with a bigger audience that includes you. I believe we are all creative, and this podcast is all about that. I'll be interviewing people from all ages, backgrounds, and creativity experiences to share just how creative we all are. Today, I'll be chatting with Marques Edwards, podcast host and digital creator. Please enjoy Marques Edwards. Welcome to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. Today I am here with Marques Edwards, podcast host, digital creator. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Mari. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I am super excited to chat with you about creativity today. But before we dive into our creativity conversation, why don't you share a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sounds good. So I am Marques Edwards. I'm currently in the United States Air Force stationed in northern Italy. I enjoy writing, traveling, and digital creation, of course, and podcasting. I started my podcast during the pandemic. I wanted a way to be more involved with the world and spark my creativity that way, with my voice and the things I think about. I also travel. And I'm also a father of two. Born in Chicago, Illinois, currently in school for business administration because I would like to start a business with, official business later on in my second wind of my life and my career, and try to blossom some of these ideas and creativity that I have into, something later on. So I love kids. I love diversity. I love the community. I love women empowerment. I love topics like mental health and things like that. I love intriguing things like that. So I have a very broad audience because I feel like I have something for everyone, because all cool topics are cool. So yeah, and in my free time, I play a few video games and watch a few movies, and that's about it. I'm a pretty normal guy.
Nice. I love it. I love all of the pieces. And I mean, I think it's probably like your third or fourth career after podcast hosting and digital creating. But that's very cool to, have all these ideas that you follow, because I think a lot of times we get stuck in one, or society tells you have to pick something and stay with it. And we're so much more than one thing. So yes, I love you bringing that in. Very nice. Yeah. So in the world of podcasting and the Air Force and digital creations, do you find that you use similar creative tactics or solutions in all of those areas, or do you think they're different?
That's a great question. So I do have to use different sorts of creativities, of course, because the military has a lot of rules, laws that we abide by. So your creativity is a little bit controlled, I guess I would say.
Okay.
You may have a very creative idea, but they said, "Oh, you're breaking this rule. We can't do that." So yeah, you have to. It's kind of sheltered your creativity in the Air Force and military in general because of all the regulations and things that we have to go by. As far as podcasting, I like, one of the reasons that I do enjoy podcasting is because of the free range of creativity, the networking that I do, and you can literally speak and interact with people who are just with so many different things, and it can still, it's a beautiful thing. And I think that's one of the reasons that drew me to podcasting, is because of so much creativity. I'm creative in cooking. I do cook too. I think I forgot to say that. So I'm creative in cooking as well.
I love it.
Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't.
That's the beauty of it though, right?
Yeah, sometimes you have to keep it simple. So with work, it's a little bit more, I try to be, or the word the military uses innovation. I try to be innovative.
Yeah.
However, it's a little tailored to, what I can and can't do. Creativity as far as podcasting, probably one of the biggest reasons why I enjoy it, because it's unlimited creativity and you can do things your way.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's yours, you know. He's like, this is my way, even though with so many people, but what I specifically bring as a person to it, I think kind of the ownership, you know. So that's
Yeah.
kind of
Nice. I like it, being able to bring your own voice. Speaking of voice, holy mackerel. Got some crazy allergy adventures happening here in Colorado. Anyway, what does it mean to you to be creative?
So to me, to be creative is putting your mark on something. And when I say that, we're in the year 2022, right? And there are so many ideas out there, successful ones that failed, ones that are pending. And it's not easy to come up with something unique in today, just because of the fact that so many ideas have been culminated over time. And you're trying to, you know, it's what, I don't know how many places, it's millions of podcasts, right? But you're trying to find your special, you know, your special touch on podcasting. And that's what I think creativity is, because there are a million podcasts, right? But Marques's podcast, Mari's podcast, what makes them special is you, right? And me. And that's why I have to find my passion and what I really love, and what I know, one thing, maybe one of three things that are really important to me that I want to push. And I go with those. So that's what creativity is to me, is kind of knowing yourself, knowing what's special about you, knowing what makes you unique. You know, and then you have to buy in. You have to believe that, man, this is what I bring. I bring this passion. I bring this energy. I bring this love, whatever it may be. And you kind of try to input it into whatever projects that you're making, because at the end of the day, you know, no one can get what you put into something if it's unique to you. So
I love that. I love putting your unique stamp on something and bringing your voice to it, and recognizing what is special about you or what is unique. When you think of those things for yourself, what is your special, unique stamp that you bring?
My unique stamp, I'm very genuine. That fuels a lot of my other, you know, the other things that makes me who I am. But I'm very genuine, and I've learned to put myself in other shoes. So when I'm speaking about experiences or life, and I've, you know, the more that I've grown in life, I've come to understand that we're all different, and that we can all help each other. And it makes me I mesh with so many people. I'm a people person. That's like I'm a people person. So I feel like I can talk to all ages, all topics, and things like that. And that genuine is me genuinely wanting to know. You know, I'm not just doing it to check a box. I really want to know about someone's story, and I really respect someone's story. And I'm not to say everyone's not genuine, but some aren't, you know, some aren't genuine, you know.
So true.
Some is just a business, and that's the passion that I have and the care I have. I really, you know, like to support others. You know, it's just little intangibles that I have, because we all can check the, you know, the corporate boxes, right? Everybody can do that. We can all buy equipment. We can all, you know, use the same programs and things to advertise ourselves. But, you know, that my character and personality is what I hold my hat on, as far as what makes me me. And that's kind of why I'm always work in progress, always trying to be better, understand. And it's been great for me. So that's what I feel
That's
one of my strongest
awesome.
strengths.
Yeah, I love asking people that, because I think we don't get to talk about it often. You know, it normally comes up in an annual review or, you know, a job interview. What are your strengths? What can you bring? Those kinds of things. But to actually take some time and think about, what is my special, unique piece that I bring with me and comes, and I continue to grow and change and learn more about it. And you also strike me as having a lot of curiosity and really interested in what other people have to say. And that is such a like cornerstone of creativity. So I love all of that. It sounds like there's also opportunities for challenges to arise in your experience in career, in life. What are some of the challenges that you have experienced, and how do you face them?
A lot of challenges. Get ready to sit back and relax. I'm just joking.
Here we
Just
go.
joking. So I'll start a little bit before my military career. Some challenges I had before my military career was I didn't grow up in an ideal, healthy environment for a younger child, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my mom did raise me with morals, respect, and things like that. So I'm proud to say I'm not a product of the environment that I was in as a kid.
Yeah.
Right. So I struggle with, peer pressure and,
Yeah.
you don't have to be what's surrounded around you, and things like that. So that was, as a kid, a barrier I had to overcome. That was a challenge for me because you're a kid, you got something. I wanted to be the president, an astronaut, author,
Yeah.
and then I'm in a pretty undesirable place to live. That was my reality. So, but it did help me to build a lot of mental fortitude as far as, being able to deal with challenges early on. And that's why I kind of explain that part first about my challenges, right?
Yeah.
So another one is, I was living in different locations. My mom was super religious, and she was scared witless out of me being raised in Chicago. And she sent me live with my uncle, and that was like an experience in itself, right? And
Sure.
my uncle lived overseas, and she sent me overseas, and I was like, when am I going back? And I didn't go back for a long time. So,
Yeah.
but it did help me to understand other cultures, understand other ways of life, and it helped me be the person I am today. So I understand it more as an adult. When I got back to America, that okay, I respect others' cultures, and I see how good we have things, and it humbles you a little bit. So that was a transition for me. That was a challenge, just different cultures and things, and then get into the military, right?
Yeah.
So I have all these thoughts and things like that, and I was pretty responsible. Not anybody was crazy, anything like that. So I don't have to be domesticated when I got into the military. But military culture is different than normal day culture.
Yeah.
A lot of rules, a lot of regulations, a lot of family issues and things like that, because you have to the job is more so first, right?
Right.
And you have the deployments and all those things like that to take effect on you. But those are some challenges that I struggle with in my military career. So fast forward to now, right? Now I'm trying to do all this podcasting and creativity. So balance is a pretty good one because I'm a full active duty military member. So this is my passion. However, I have to dedicate some time to this, not full time to it. So I have to learn sometimes, okay, you can't podcast this week. You got to do this and you got to do this because this is what, sustains me and my family. So that's also a little bit of a struggle with me sometimes. And, sometimes, as a fellow podcaster, sometimes, everybody wants immediate responses and, and things like that. I'm like, guys, gals, I'm not doing this on purpose. I'll literally get back to you as soon as I can. And, I'm trying to, do a lot of things because I do care. So I sometimes explain when I shouldn't have to explain. I do explain to people, why I'm taking so long and things like that. So that's always a struggle, just trying to balance. And, I'm a people person. So I try to make sure everybody's happy and show support to everybody. And sometimes it's hard. It's a little difficult sometimes for me. So other than that, I mean, those are some of the struggles that I deal with in life in general. And when I'm not focused fully on things, it kind of stunts my creativity because I like to be in a certain space when I'm creative, right? You want to be in a certain, a creativity space, right? So when I'm stressed from work or something like that, I don't really podcast. I don't like to do, because I feel like the brand or what I'm trying to build is I'm always in a open spirit, right? That's kind of how I carry myself. So I'm in a bad mood. I just go meditate, take a nap, read a book or something. And I say, I'm going to podcast when I'm in better spirits. I don't want to be all down and, and letting everyone know who can't see me in person, hear my voice oh, he must be having a bad day. So no, so things like that. That's kind of some of the struggles that I deal with. But I'm, as time transpires, I'm learning to, incorporate both and still be myself. And it's been great. It's been a great growing experience.
Nice. I mean, it just sounds like you have so much awareness about the challenges and struggles and you take active steps to work with them. And, the growing up experience has definitely like shown up as, oh, you know, how you view it from your adult self experience, yeah, I think is unique, and not everyone is able to kind of look back and put some meaning making onto it, or see it for what it was, and take the pieces that were really great.
Took time. It took some time. I'm not going to like, I don't want anybody to think, oh, he just get this great guy. It took trial and error, but you know,
Yeah,
when you
sure.
change your outlook and your mindset on things, it helps you to grow. If you have to want to grow, you have to want to grow.
Right, exactly.
You have to want to grow. So
yeah. And I think that's part of creativity too. Like, creativity supports us to grow and change when we get curious about something, like, why am I doing it this way? Why is this continuing to happen?
Right.
Creativity shows up and says, like, well, let's get curious about it. Let's ask some questions. Let's explore. And,
yes.
Yeah, and see where it can take us in our life.
Sometimes in the military, my curiosity is like slapped on the wrist too, like,
Oh.
because you can't question everything in the military. So I thought that would be a good plug to let you know, like, you know, they say, hey, do this. Why? Because we said so.
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great reminder that there are some spaces where that version of creativity isn't going to get you very far.
No.
And I imagine there's probably a different source of creativity that may help you do the thing you have to do, or, you know, figure it out. You know, if there's problem solving, that's creativity. Like, how are you going to make this happen? Get from point A to point B. And they're not going to tell you why you have to do it, but you're going to have to figure out how to do it. And that is the creativity that you can bring into that space.
I agree.
Yeah. I love it. You can find creativity everywhere if you look for it, I think is
very true. And I love how we can open this up and just be able to find uncommon places where creativity can be plugged into. That's the cool thing about it. And that's why when I first met you, I was like, man, I feel like creativity can be entrenched in anything. So I was like, yeah, you know, my show isn't about creativity, but I'm like, come on now, creativity can be used in so many different ways if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's pretty cool that we can even analyze that having a conversation right now.
Absolutely. And you know, because creativity isn't just for one space of our life, it does show up in so many other areas. And when we start looking for it, then we get to be surprised when we're like, oh my gosh, this is so creative. And I never would have imagined that, you know, I don't even know what situations would be, but you know, those situations that you can't ask questions, but you have to, you know, get the job done, quote unquote, and where that creativity shows up. Yeah. I mean, it just sounds like there's so much opportunity in kind of using creativity to get through everyday situations. What are some of the everyday issues that you have used creativity to solve?
When they tell you no the first time and you want to reattack with another option or another idea without referencing the first one that you got told no to. So you know, so if you say, hey, I'll give an example. Hey, we want to do a work center barbecue, and they say no. Okay, can we do a work center professional development barbecue or professional development this and that? Because sometimes it's how you word things, right? So
yeah,
getting told no, and then doing the things you don't want to do. Trying to find, I would say, trying to find a way to like what you don't want to do because you know you have to do it. That sounds pretty crazy, but if they tell you something that you really have a problem with, right, and you know you have to do it anyway, you have to find a silver lining and let me just do this as quick as possible so I can get done. Whatever it takes for you and your mind to be able to complete it. You have to, you know, just like, you know, just for example, like with homework, right? Sometimes I do procrastinate with my homework, and the last day or so, you're like, hey, dude, you got to stay up and finish this. It doesn't matter. This is the last day, and I'm tired, but I'm chucking Red Bulls or Monsters, and I'm doing it because you have to get it done. And then once I get going, I'm like, okay, let me put my best foot forward. I'm trying to do it. So that's not a good practice, everybody out there. But just embracing the things that you don't like. It's easy, in my opinion, easier, I will say, easier in my opinion to deal with things when you have no adversity or no complications or no, everything is just ideal. You find out your true character and how creative you are when you have to find another way than your initial, your initial idea or the way you want to do something. So in my everyday practice, I always have a plan A, B, and C. Just
maybe
in case.
D, E, F, G, H, I, J.
You get it. You get it. Yeah. So you have options because you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Oh, shout out to Easter time. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Because a lot of people, they put all of the emphasis on one thing and they get defeated when that one thing doesn't happen, right? Through trial and error with me, I said, okay, let me not put everything into this one idea. And when it gets shot down, I'm like, I'm out of options now.
Right.
The second and third options may not be as exclusive, but you still put time into them and they're still your ideas. So that's one of my methods, thinking about it, and how I go about things. And it helps you to move forward. What you want to do helps you to move forward. So that's something pretty huge in my book. I'm never making one plan. I'm always if the first plan happened, great, but I'm never making one plan because you just never know how things can happen. And even with, like the pandemic, right? We didn't think the pandemic would last that long. So people were thinking, it'll be over in a month. And I'm, and it changed the world, changed the way we live. Yeah. So I'm never taking that for granted. I'm always going to have 3 minimum, options for how, for my ideas, for my ideas. So
I think that's great. And I really appreciate what you said about, when we're in that ideal optimum environment, it's not as challenging and we may not have to get as creative as we would when you're faced with some challenge or, diversity if you can't figure it out the first time. So I really appreciate you bringing that up because I think that is where creativity really thrives, in those pockets of challenge or adversity. I said diversity, it's adversity. It's early here. Early here, dear
good
Lord.
Words. They're all good words.
Thank you very much for that. But when we're faced with those times, I think it is where we can flex more creativity. And it sounds like you do that in your life when you're faced with adversity.
Yeah. I try to. Not every single time, but that's the mindset that I try to keep. Because you got to find that motivation and inspiration when, it's not easy. That's the part right there, right? When somebody tells you no, your motivation kind of takes a little bit of a hit. You get frustrated. You may not be as inspired, but those little sprinkles of inspiration and motivation during those times sometimes make some of the most beautiful outcomes.
I love it. Yeah. So for someone who may not think they're creative, how would you encourage them to find creativity in their life?
Well, first off, I would say, and I had to learn this too, I'm speaking from personal experience, don't be a victim of your own thinking. And when I say that, sometimes you may think your idea is trash or your idea is not good or not attractive. And someone else will be like, man, that's a good idea, dude. That's cool. So we're our own worst critics, right? And which is good. We all works in progress, right? Yeah. But if you're struggling with those things, right? I mean, I was always say, keep all of your ideas, whether they're good, bad, happy, sad, keep all of your ideas and find a support system of people that genuinely, have your best interest at heart and run some of those ideas past them, because you can't be your judge, jury, and executioner. You can't do that. Like, you're going to be too hard on yourself, right? So part of it is communicating, if you're trying to, no idea is a bad idea, in my opinion. It's just how you cultivate that idea.
Yeah.
right? And even us more creative folks or people who display creativity more, everyone hits a stump or a wall where they don't know how to navigate sometimes, and you might lean on someone else to get an idea of creativity, or you can combine your idea with someone else's idea, and that may be the missing part to what they were looking for. So if your idea may seem, non-substantial to you, it could be the missing part. So say you're someone who makes, I don't know, shoestrings, and I'm creating the shoe, and I'm looking for a cool shoestring, and you think, oh, shoestrings are they lame? I don't know. And I'm like, I'm looking for someone with a custom shoestring, and you find me. I'm like, perfect. Now my project is done. So the mindset of, when you're down, keep all of your ideas, everything. Keep all of your ideas. Don't throw them away. Even if you think they're bad, reattack them later on, because who knows, a year or two from now, that may be something we need.
Right.
I'm quite sure no one thought Zoom would be this popular,
right.
Until a pandemic came, right? Like, so like, you just never know how time, and if anything that the pandemic and everything taught us is that things can change. Things can change, and you never know what need may be shifted, that, your idea may be gold at that point, right? So
yeah, so true.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I would tell my encouragement is to keep all your goals and build a trust circle of people who you can share your ideas and your goals with, that you can have your best, and take the feedback. You don't have to take everything as a grain of salt, but take the feedback, and enhance your ideas and do better. That's the best thing, because mindset and communication, I think, are the two biggest things for creativity that you can cultivate those ideas. So.
Nice. Great reminders and really good tips. I super appreciate it. This has been so much fun to chat with you. I just have one last question. What does it feel like in your body to be creative?
What does it feel like? Well, it's happy, first of all. I'm always happy when I'm creative.
Yeah.
I'm always happy, because when you get a good idea, you just get like, yes, that's a great idea. and I'm quick to try to, like I said previous, I'm quick to try to write things down, and because sometimes I might have a dream, or I might see something, or I might watch a YouTube video, or see some tweet or reel, and I might give me an idea. So I'm hurrying up and either in my phone or that. So I'm very happy when I have creativity, and sense of appreciation I have inside. Appreciation. Nice. And it's always good to appreciate yourself, because a part of, self-love and self-care, creativity comes from you, right? So you feel good when you're able to provide something from you, of you. And that's how it feels to me. It's like a good warm fuzzy, I would say. It's a good warm fuzzy. And it kind of gives you inspiration to do more. So it's very inspiring. So I feel that little, that little rush of inspiration and happiness, at the same, and appreciation at the same time. So that's kind of how I feel inside. A lot of emotions there, yes, but they're good emotions, and it keeps me going. So, yeah.
I love it. I love all of it. Thank you so much for chatting with me. If people want to learn more about your podcasts and where they can find them or get in touch with you, how could they go about doing that?
Well, I am on social media, on Facebook. Flavor in Your Ear Podcast is my Facebook page. Kind of more so for the adult crowd. The young kids don't like it as much, but hey, it's there. I do share all my info there. I'm on Instagram, Flavor in Your Ear Podcast on Instagram. Those are my two primary social media handles. I have link trees and all of those on those two pages with no email address and Spotify, Apple links and things like that. But those are my two primary social media handles, and that's how you can find me. I put content up as much as I can. Yeah. With everything going on. So yes. And my email address is flavorinyourear247@gmail.com for anyone who would like to have an idea, creativity, or collaborate with something. I'm always open to ideas. So that's how you can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. It's been so wonderful to reconnect and talk about creativity.
Thank you so much, Mari. You are awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast, We'd love to keep in touch, so follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are at Sustaining Creativity. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Tag your friends and family so they can listen too. We love to hear from you, so leave your reviews, comments, and questions. Check out our website, sustainingcreativity.com, for upcoming offerings and creativity coaching. Tune in Tuesdays for our next episode. And remember, with creativity, anything's possible.